When I saw the biennial a little bit and the subject, and I know the curator, strangers everywhere, well, it sounds, it's my work. I've been doing this work since half a century. The two pieces, the two works that you've seen in the entrance of the Giardini, they were done 51 years ago. So when you look and you listen to the immigrant economic Turkish and Portuguese workers that it's like half a documentary, you know. When you hear what they say, their problems, 50 years later, nothing has changed. So maybe it was about time they showed this work. I had a grandmother who was coming from Circassia, you know, Russia, Abkhazia. She was a very pious woman. She prayed 5 times a day on our carpet. I used to pull the carpet. I was 5 years old, and she would take care of me at the daytime. There were no schools for little children at that time in Istanbul. And at one point, she was so tired of telling me stories, she took a little book, empty cahier like yours, and she made squares, and she started to draw. She was a very good drawer. She started to draw the stories. And at one point, she said to me, "Now you go on with drawing these stories." And I started drawing. That's the moment. I think after that, I didn't even play with the dolls. I never had dolls, only art books, only crayons, watercolors, and paper. Yeah, I didn't even know it was art. I loved doing it, that's all. No, I'm a self-made artist, yes. No, I did not study art. Oh, there was nothing in Turkey, you know, in Istanbul. No galleries, no museums. When I was about 18, 19. At 19 years old, I went away to India for 1.5 years. I was one of the first hippies. And that was my university. In 1957, can you imagine? And when I came back, Istanbul there were no galleries. There was a Turkish art scene. There were no museums, nothing, because just before 1929, it was the Ottoman Empire, a Muslim country. And you know, the image was the image of a person. I mean, the Ottoman art is a geometric art. There's no people's images. There is no real. It's more a decorative art, you see. I love, but so it was very slow. There was nothing. So my father got me books, little Skira editions, books of Impressionism, Cézanne, Renoir, and I used to paint after those paintings. But I had been in Paris once in '76. I met Simone de Beauvoir, I met Sartre, because everybody could say hello to them. They were always writing in the cafes, you know. And I saw Yves Klein exhibition. I said, wow, this is fantastic. It is art, but I can't understand it. I don't see the procedure. So I decided to come back to Paris and learn. That's how it happened. So in '65 I came, I settled down, and I've been living there since. When I came to Paris, I had the chance to see, there was Ilyana Sonnabend, who had discovered with Castelli, her first husband, the pop art. And she opened with her second husband a second gallery in Paris for 15 years. And at that time, in '65, it was very easy to go to openings to say hello to Rauschenberg, to Robert Morris. There was no, it wasn't the sophisticated art scene like today, okay? So that was my schooling also, art schooling. She invited me to all her openings. I went there, I had food with Rauschenberg, I dined with Robert Morris, I said hello to all of them. And at that period, I mean, I really learned what conceptual art was, minimal art was, pop art was. That was my school. I'm not exiled. No, that's it would be indecent. But I was exiled afterwards for my political opinions. I couldn't go back to Turkey for 13 years. Then I was exiled. But the problem is that it's a whole work, it's a job, it's a very hard job. It's like all jobs are hard, but they're harder for the exiled people. I would say if art didn't exist, it would be worse. That's all I can say. I will not dare to say art changes the world, but if there was no art, it will be the end of the world, I think. No, art and culture, let's not separate this art, this culture, because that means that there is education. Why is the world in this state? Because there is no education. We do not educate children. Look at Afghanistan. Little girls cannot go to school, can you imagine? That revolts me as a feminist. So, if there's no art, there's no culture, there's no education. Even with art, there's no education in some parts of the world. So it has to go on, culture and art.